Hi guys, this is the third episode of Rules and Tactics. This video is going to be focusing on the press. It's going to be quite a brief overview, just focusing on two different types of press. The press is so important for everyone on the pitch to kind of know what's happening, and for it to work well, everyone kind of needs to be focused. The press is a team tactic that is used to put off the opposition, put pressure on the opposition in the hope that we can win the ball back from them, often by them making a mistake. The two presses that I'm going to talk through today are the full press and the W press, because these are the ones we mainly use in our matches. Hopefully, again, this video is helpful for you like the others have been. So briefly, just some general rules to remember about the press. This applies to most press routines. Firstly, it's a team effort, the press. If one person isn't in the right position or isn't focused, this will create a gap and essentially make the press pretty pointless. The press is sometimes described as like a team screen. So if you think about it like that, having a hole or a gap in the screen means it's probably going to be really easy for the other team to get through. So we're trying to prevent that from happening. When we play our games, there is usually someone who's kind of in charge of the press, usually one of the upfront players who calls when we're doing the press and gives you a bit of warning to get into the right positions. And most often, your kind of job in your press position will be to control that space around you and cut it off so that the opposition can't get any balls through there, hopefully limiting their options and then hopefully the press working effectively. One of the quite simple things in the press that you can try and do is making yourself wide and intimidating to kind of put off that player trying to pass through you, trying to just whack the ball past you. So making sure that you're keeping low, you're putting your stick out wide, and pressuring the players who have the ball. So the first press I'm going to talk about is the full press. We use this when the ball is with the opposition team, they're taking a free hit or a sideline in the areas that are hopefully going to be highlighted on this diagram. So the corners of our attacking quarter. This press is also effective when one of the opposition players is forced out wide and into these corners. So when we're doing this press, you kind of need to be really focused and be aware of the position that you're in and the players around you, because it's quite high up the pitch. We don't want to risk you leaving a gap and then the opposition being able to get through and us being caught off guard. One of the things we can do to get around this is having a centre back or defender who plays kind of, hopefully I think you can see it on the diagram, plays back, and with their kind of line of sight they can man the defence and hopefully make sure that that doesn't happen. This full press is used to cut off the other team's options. Not one player overcommits, no player goes diving in and tackling. We move kind of as a unit, and preventing those kind of slam hit balls straight through and the passes to the midfield. Hopefully this means that the opposition team will make an error, they will try and pass it through and they won't get it through. We'll get the ball and then we can have a pretty quick turnover because we'll be in a good position. This type of press, like all presses, I think requires lateral movement. So as the ball moves across the pitch, so the defender's moving it around the back, the full press needs to move across accordingly, because if we're all stuck to one side of the pitch and they pass it round, we've left a whole lot of space on the line. So that needs to be kind of talked about and watched for. And because we play in a diamond formation usually, that I've mentioned in some of my other videos, it does require a little bit of communication. So a midfield player deciding that they're going to come up and support the attackers in this press. So that communication needs to be had, otherwise the press will basically be ineffective. The next press I'm going to talk about is the W press. This is called the W press because hopefully when you're in the right position it should look like a W. I'll pop a diagram on the screen again. The W press is used when the opposition team is taking a hit out or 16. This press is really effective at encouraging the opposition team to kind of pass around the back. With the W press, you cut off their options forward, they're forced to pass it around the back, and hopefully they'll make an error or they'll essentially give us an opportunity to intercept. Again, because we do a diamond formation, communication needs to happen again on the pitch. So between the two attackers in the diamond formation, they'll decide who is the centre forward in this and the left or right forward. and then a midfielder needs to come up and support them again and take on the third attacking position. So essentially the centre forward attacker will mark the player with the ball who's taking the hit out. The left forward will be stood to the left of the centre forward, blocking off the pass out to the left wing, and the right forward will do the same on the other side. The two midfield players that are the bottom of the W will fill in the gaps between these two players, making sure that they can't get any quick passes through to the midfield. Whilst this is happening up front, our left and right backs need to be watching their players and making sure that their attackers aren't quickly running off and getting into a space that hit out player can kind of somehow get to or can do an overhead pass to. So yeah, making sure the defenders are sticking to their man. So as the defenders, well, either they will pass straight into the W and hopefully one of us will get the ball, or they will try and pass it round the back. I'm going to include a little video hopefully demonstrating how the W would move if it's passed around the back, because the W moves as a unit, yeah, kind of sideways. I'll pop a little video in explaining that. Again, this requires kind of concentration and focus from every player, because as soon as one person isn't in the right space, the opposition team are going to see that space and probably get the ball through it. So here I've just drawn the W press. So we've got our centre forward, left forward, right forward, and two of our midfielders. I'm just going to show you the kind of way that the press would move if the ball was passed. So let's say that the ball's here and they decide to pass that ball back here. As they're doing that, this player is going to run to this player and cut that off. This player is going to be running towards this player, or intercepting the ball if they can. And this player comes in here, and as they move, so do these players. So you would have a new kind of W about here, if that makes sense. That's your very wonky W. And then the same would happen if it was over on this side, and essentially you're forcing them to make a mistake. So that was just a really brief, quick breakdown of a couple of presses. I know there's different types of presses. There's a half press, 3/4 press, but for the purpose of these videos and our game style, we hopefully stick to the other two presses. I might do a video on the other ones if people want that. Again, thank you guys so much for watching these videos. I hope they're useful. I'll pop my details again in the drop box below. Please send me a message if you have any questions. I'll also again pop some useful links in there. So please like and subscribe to our channel, because I know there's going to be regular uploads of videos from me, Brownie. So thank you again for watching.